Okay friends, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can make a flat 2D object turn into a 3D solid. So as you can see, my piece of paper is flat, and on it there are 6 squares. And when I cut out this net and I fold it a certain way, it's going to become a cube. So the first thing that you're going to want to do if you're going to create your nets using these printouts is you're going to want to color in or decorate your net. Maybe you want to color it in a solid color, maybe you want to do some polka dots, maybe you want to do a pattern and do every square a different color. It's totally up to you. But make sure if you want your object or your 3D solid to be colorful, that you color it when it is flat, okay? So after you've colored it in, you're going to do your cutting. Now, make sure that you have an adult to help you because it's very important that we're cutting along the lines. And I'm gonna show you how we can do this. So, my first line is straight. So I'm gonna cut my paper straight across. And I'm gonna go very carefully. Line. Now, if you look over here, these are dotted lines. These lines are very, very important. You need to cut around these lines, okay? You don't cut along here, you cut around the line. So I need to turn my paper. Actually, I think I'm gonna turn it this way. Sometimes it's easier going straight at where you want to cut. Okay. And just like that. So you can see that I've gone right along the edges and right along the edge here. Now to do this one again, I turn my paper because my line is going this way, up and down. I'll show you one more cut, and then I think we'll skip ahead to when my shape is all cut out, and then we'll fold it up together, friends. Now that your shape is all cut out and you've cut along all of the edges, now what you need to do is everywhere you see a solid black line, you're going to fold. So this again, you need to do very carefully. And instead of folding it this way, where you're hiding the line, I want you to fold it this way so that you can see exactly where you need to fold it. And you're gonna pinch. And then I can see that I have a square on this side and a square on this side, okay? This is very, very tricky, so I want you to try your best, but if you're having trouble, I want you to ask somebody in your family to help you do your folding, okay? And then again, I fold it this way. I want to make another fold here. So I turn and I press. Okay, so now I have one fold and two folds. And I'm going to keep going until all of my folds are done. Okay, one more of the square ones. Now, along 3 of my squares, I have 3 other shapes, and I need to do the same thing. Along the black lines, I need to fold it. So I'm going to turn this down and fold. Now I'm just making my first folds and my first bend. So after you fold it, you can release the fold because it'll still keep its bend a little bit. It'll make it easier for you to do all the other ones. Okay, so take your time. If you need help, ask somebody in your family to help you. Okay, a few more folds and then we'll be ready to make our 3D solid. Okay, so after you folded everything, your paper is gonna look a little funny. It's not 3D yet, but it's not 2D either. It's kind of doing something funny where it's popping up, it's making all these weird folds. Now, the next stage, the next thing that we're gonna need is either glue or tape. I'm gonna use tape because it's going to make it so I don't have to wait for my cube to dry. I can start to play with it and explore with it right away. So, I find it easiest to rip off a few pieces of tape, just little pieces, and stick it to a table or to a chair so that one end is on the counter and there's an end sticking off. And that means I have a few pieces of tape handy. And I don't need to keep ripping them off when I start to build. Now, what you're gonna do to create your cube is you're gonna fold it into itself. So, you're gonna take a side that has the 3 folds and you're gonna bend them in. Now you're going to fold it, and this piece should go on the inside. It can go on the outside if you want, but just remember that you're gonna see it on your cube. So I want my cube to just be pink. So I'm gonna put this on the inside, turn it around, and on the inside here is where I'm going to tape. Again, you wanna be very, very careful. This is very tricky to do by yourself. So I definitely would recommend, if you have a brother or sister or somebody that can help you, to try to get somebody's help. Okay, and you're gonna do the same thing for all of these folds. You're gonna fold it in, and everywhere you see a fold, you're going to tape. And you wanna make sure you're taping it not so that it goes on the inside like this, so that it's right along the edge. All of our edges and vertices meet. And now this side. I might be able to use one piece of tape for these two. So sometimes you're gonna need to bend your pieces so that you can get your hands in there, and that's fine. Just remember that this is paper, so if you're too rough with it, it could rip. So you want to be careful, but you also want to make sure you get your shape. So many things to remember when we're folding our nets, friends. So here, I found it a little tricky. So that I stuck the tape on the inside first, and I'm gonna fold this over and meet the other side. And then I'm just gonna pinch in the middle to meet them. It's already starting to look like a cube, friends. Now all I need to do is my lid. So an easy way to do this is fold it in, and again, it's paper, so I want to push it in, but I don't want to be too rough. And if you use tape, you can adjust, you can move it around. And it might not be perfect, but as long as you have your sides, maybe we'll do one piece of tape on the outside. Now you have your cube, and Miss Hamilton might want to do some repairs. You might need to be a handyman or a handy woman and do some repairs. So you can tape the sides. Maybe if you have some extra tape hanging off the side, you might want to give it a little trim. Okay, these can be your little 3D solid babies, and you want to make sure that they're nice and taken care of. Okay, so there's your solid. Now, the reason why we colored it first was because even though this is a 3D solid, the inside is hollow, which means there's nothing on the inside to keep it stable. So if I push on my solid to color it, it's going to be tricky. It's gonna push in my paper. Can you see that? So make sure if you want to color it, you do it before you build your solids. Now, I showed you how to make the cube. There are so many different nets that we can make. There are triangular prism nets. There are cylinder nets. There's triangle-based pyramids. I wonder what that looks like. So, these are all the same. You fold them the same way, but they're going to make different shapes. So, I want to challenge you to try to make as many as you can. And if you can take a photo and upload it to your Brightspace portfolio so that your teacher can check out all the cool solids you made. Have a great time, friends.